Every battery you've ever used is fighting a losing battle with itself from the moment it's made. It's a quiet, invisible war waged with atoms and electrons, and it's a battle the battery is guaranteed to lose. So what's going on? We'll uncover the hidden chemical decay and irreversible damage that ensures every battery will eventually fail. And what, if anything, you can do to slow it all down. To understand why a battery dies, we first have to know how it lives. At its core, a battery is a surprisingly simple device. It's a tiny, self-contained powerhouse with three key parts: two electrodes, called the anode and the cathode, and a chemical liquid or gel called an electrolyte that separates them. When you use your phone, charged particles called ions travel from one electrode to the other through the electrolyte. This forces other particles, electrons, through an external circuitant. That's what powers your device. When you recharge it, you're just running that whole process in reverse. It sounds almost perfect, right? It's a perfectly reversible process should, in theory, last forever. But it doesn't. With every single cycle of charging and discharging, a tiny bit of irreversible damage happens. The main reason your battery dies comes down to chemistry specifically, chemistry you don't want happening. Most modern rechargeable batteries, the star players, are lithium ions. Think of them as little workers, constantly shuttling back and forth. But they aren't perfect. With each trip, some of these lithium ions don't quite make it. They react with the electrolyte and get trapped, forming new inactive compounds. This process creates a thin, crusty layer on the anode called the solid electrolyte interface, or you can think of this layer like plaque building up in an artery. A little bit is normal, but as it gets thicker with every charge, it starts to choke the flow of ions, which increases internal resistance and permanently reduces the battery's capacity. And get this, these unwanted chemical reactions are slowly chipping away at its life, even when a battery is just sitting there. This is called calendar aging, and it happens even faster in warmer environments. But it's not just a chemical war. It's a physical one too. The electrodes themselves, which have to constantly absorb and release ions, are under a ton of physical stress. Imagine a sponge you have to soak and wring out over and over. After a while, it's going to start to wear down, tear, and fall apart. The same thing happens inside your battery. On a microscopic level, the electrodes can start to crack and crumble from the constant expanding and contracting. This physical damage shrinks the active surface area, where chemical reactions can happen, which further limits the battery's ability to store energy. In more extreme cases, another villain can show up: dendrites. These are tiny, needle-like structures of metallic lithium that can actually grow on the anode, especially during fast charging. If a dendrite grows long enough to poke through the separator and touch the other electrode, it can cause a short circuit. This can kill the battery instantly, and in some cases, even pose a fire risk. So, every battery is destined to die from these internal processes. But our own habits can either slow this down or hit the fast-forward button. Temperature is a huge factor. High heat is a battery's worst enemy. It speeds up those damaging chemical reactions, making the layer grow faster and causing the electrolyte to break down. Leaving your phone in a hot car is a guaranteed way to shorten its lifespan. Cold temperatures aren't great either. It can temporarily reduce capacity and efficiency. Your charging habits also make a big difference. Constantly charging to 100% or letting the battery drop to 0% puts a lot of stress on the electrodes. Think of it like stretching a rubber band to its absolute limit over and over again. It'll wear out much faster than if you only stretch it part way. The same goes for fast charging. While it's super convenient, the higher current and heat can speed up both physical and chemical degradation. So what can you actually do about it? You can't stop your battery from dying, but you can definitely slow it down. First, manage the temperature. Do your best to keep your devices out of direct sunlight and hot environments. Second, tweak your charging habits. The sweet spot for most modern batteries is keeping the charge somewhere between 20% and 80%. Try to avoid leaving your device plugged in at 100% overnight or letting it die completely on a regular basis. Partial charges are much healthier for the battery's long-term health. And third, when you don't need a quick top-up, go for slower charging. This generates less heat and puts less physical stress on the internal components. Understanding the science of why batteries die is the first step to making them last longer. If this breakdown was helpful, and you want to understand more of the science behind everyday tech? Make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's next. From the moment a battery is assembled, its fate is sealed by the laws of chemistry and physics. The endless shuttling of ions, the slow buildup of parasitic layers, and the physical wear and tear all add up, ensuring every battery has a finite lifespan. Can't make them last forever, but by understanding what's happening inside that tiny powerhouse, we can use smarter habits to significantly extend their useful life. Researchers are working hard on new chemistries and materials to build better batteries. But for now, treating them with a little care is the best way to postpone the inevitable.